My official prediction for Gamrot and Sakara, and you know what? It's not a prediction, it's a promise. And it goes like this. Whichever one of you wins, I promise I'll learn your name and I'll do a beautiful piece about you next week. That's as far as I can get you. But I will look at the co-main event, and I will tell you my official prediction between Neil Magny taking on Rakhmonov. Guys, I'm taking Rakhmonov. That's rude. That's a rude thing to do to Magny. But Rakhmonov has something very special. He truly does, guys. And he's going to get tested at some point, but that first test isn't going to be with the opponent. It's going to be with the placement on the card. This guy has done everything. He's finished 7 guys. He's knocked out 8 guys. He's 15-0. That's a lot like my record, only much better. He's not in the 5-round club. He shows no signs that that's going to matter. But that's a question mark that will hang over everybody. Before you can be a star, before you can be a champion, you got to prove that you can hold up for 5 rounds, and very few people have. You would be stunned if you knew how small the list is of people that are in the 5-round club. There has been UFC champions that aren't in it. I'll give you an example off the top of my head, Vitor Belfort. Vitor Belfort has never gone 5 rounds. He's been the world champion. It's a very rare club, even if you get booked for it. I mean, just to get booked for it, right? There's 11 fights tomorrow. Only one of them has to do it. So it's just one of these situations. 10 times the athletes will not even be booked in it, let alone make it the duration. So I'm going to bring that to you because it's really the only thing to keep your eye out for Rakhmonov. Now, here's what you do need to know. How's he going to beat him? Because Neil Magny is going to be a pain in the ass everywhere. Now, Rakhmonov is very wrestling heavy. He's from a wrestling tough country, and that's what he grew up with. He got over into martial arts, though, pretty young. I mean, I must tell you, when he gets on the ground, he doesn't look like a wrestler. This doesn't look like ground and pound. This isn't Tito Ortiz or Randy Couture try to pin you in the fence, try to posture, try to land some elbows and do damage. It's not like that. It's much more Khabib-esque. He's going to posture, he's going to punch, he's going to pass. Then he's going to posture, he's going to punch, and then he's going to pass. The whole time he's wearing you down. If he sees a submission, he locks on for it, he puts everything in it, and usually gets a guy out of there. But in the meanwhile, on the feet, right, it's out of the frying pan and into the fire. I don't know that you want to be on your feet with this guy. He will hurt you. Everything he does is to hurt you, to soften you up, to take you to the ground. But some guys, he's just been in the process of softening them up and got them out of there. They couldn't withstand it. He's a special talent, and he's going to be on display. And I don't want to take anything away from Magny. I want to build Rakhmonov because I truly do feel that's what's going to happen. And I think anybody going with a younger guy who, by the way, has a more impressive record, I mean, history says Rakhmonov beats Magny. But I would like you to hear me right, because if Magny edges him out, Magny really deserves our respect. And Magny does one thing that we wish everybody would do, but they don't. Magny does it, but he doesn't get credit, and that's he fights. Magny fights. There was a time they were saying, nobody will fight Chimaev, nobody will fight Chimaev. Well, you better call Neil Magny nobody, because he's been raising his hand over in their corner and asking anybody that will listen. So I only share that with you because this is a very hard contest. This is a co-main event. This is going to be featured. They're going to have a little extra cheddar on it. But it's also an uphill battle that not a lot of guys would have done for a plethora of different reasons. The worst guy that you want to fight is a guy that can beat you that the people don't know. That's the worst guy. Every fighter will go through this. Before every single contract they sign, every fighter who's ever turned down a fight is because they're confronted with that. Hey, this guy can beat me, and I'm not sure the people will understand. Every fight in history that has been glossed over or passed up, for whatever reason an excuse was given, that was why. Every time. Perception is I'm better than this guy. I am more popular. I'm even ranked in front of him. That guy's probably going to kick my ass. Keep me away from him. Every fight you've ever seen turned down. In case you're ever wondering why Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard would have to make more than one phone call, I can't relate to it. That's done. You don't even have to call me. But I came from a different school. I just came from a different thought. We just don't have guys like that. And when we do get someone, it's Neil Magny, and he deserves credit for that. Neil deserves looked at very positively. Neil goes out there and he gets cleaned up. Rakhmonov has the skills to go blast through Neil Magny. And I'm not predicting that this is an ass whipping. Neil can take care of himself. I'm sharing with you if that is what happened. Guys, we can't let Neil fall. We just can't. We have to get behind. We have to support. Nobody runs their career as reckless and dangerous, as high risk and high reward as Neil Magny. But the other side of the coin is this is Rakhmonov's opportunity. He's already 15-0. He's already signed the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Everything is going his way except notoriety with you guys. Now you get eventually what's known in the business as the push. The company pushes you. There are built-in mechanisms for everybody that's on a main card. And I'm just talking about PR and marketing. The PR and the marketing departments of the UFC do different for these 5 fights. Then there's yet another push for the co-main and the main event. So the opportunities are out there. This is the push. What you do with it and how you respond. When all eyes are on you, right? Every fighter, I'm going to win tonight, I'll look good next time. The announcers in the industry want you to look good tonight. But every fight, I'll look good next time. I'll be exciting next time. Tonight, I'm just going to win. But that's a dangerous game. When you get put in those opportunities, you got all these eyes on you. And this is your make or break moment because it's not just what Rakhmonov does. It's what he says. Where is he going to steer us? If he doesn't believe that he should be in there for world title fights, that he should be in there with the Sean Bradys of the world and with the Chimaevs of the world, if he shouldn't be looked at for the winner of the Kamaru Usman and the Leon Edwards of the world, if he doesn't tell us that very clear, we can't do it for him. We will always take a guy at his word. If a fighter ever tells us, I don't care who my next opponent is, great. But if you don't care, we can't care. We don't have the option to care. We don't have the option to get excited if you don't. I believe that Rakhmonov is ready for this. I believe Danny Rubenstein has him ready for this. But this isn't his native language. There's some tricks. There's some ways you got to go about this. My eyes are open. I think he has paid attention. I think he does have good advice. I know he's got wonderful placement, and he's got a name-recognizable fighter in Magny. My prediction for this fight is Rakhmonov. But my larger prediction for the trajectory that this fight could send Rakhmonov on, right? If you win a co-main event, you don't slide down the card. If you win a co-main event, you stay in co-main event or you go up. You go to the main event. It's very relevant. And to do that, he's going to need all 3. If he gets him out of there, hard for me to imagine. Hard to get Neil Magny out of there. If he can do that, wow, problem solved. But if he can't, he needs all 3. This can't be a 29-28. Got to go out there. He's got to prove his point. He's got to have something to say. He's got to steer and drive the narrative. We'll take it from there. We'll get behind it. He calls somebody out. That guy will respond. I'll recap the whole thing for you next week. My official prediction, Rakhmonov versus Magny. Rakhmonov.